All right, so for this video, I thought it would be really interesting. I just saw it on my feed, so I picked it up. Something a little different than what I normally would do. But what this is about cameras, you know. So I'm gonna see what he got to say, or what the people in this video got to say. I don't know if it's multiple people or if it's just this one guy in the thumbnail. But let's get into it. All right, let's do it. Cameras sold out. Here's what to do now. Let's go.
With more new content creators entering the creator economy, the demand for newer cameras has gone through the roof. And what's crazy is cameras are actually designed nowadays for people to create content or even make content by themselves. But with the demand of cameras and the amount of people entering the creator economy, we're met with the issue of having these back-ordered cameras. The cameras that you want.
Yo, so one thing I actually got to say about this before he continues is I had gone into Best Buy the other day and I realized that there were a bunch of microphones and they were specifically marketed as like for podcasting, which is crazy because my background is in doing music. I do other things too, but I've been a producer ever since I was a little kid. Back in the day, I never saw microphones marketed in Best Buy. They were always in these music stores like Guitar Center or Sam Mash or something like that. Things where they sell studio gear or music stuff in general. But when I went into Best Buy and I saw a whole section just for microphones, I was taken aback, honestly. So this is an interesting point that's made here about the cameras. So let's see what else you got to say about this.
Want to buy. Like, I would assume that the camera you want to buy right now is not in stock and you don't know what to do, and now it's posing another excuse for you to not start and create content. But I'm here to tell you there's some things you need to do if you can't buy that camera.
You gotta just press record.
Hey, what's up? It's Omar Corey with Think Media, and this channel is all about helping you build your influence here on YouTube. And so if you want to learn how to do that with the best tips and tools, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But the first thing I would recommend you do is to get really good at creating content with your smartphone. It is insane.
Get good with the phone, bruh. We have, listen. Oh, shoot. We have a whole a computer in our hands right here. It does everything in this thing. This is a mega computer in the size of, you know, basically your hands. So use the camera. Some of the cameras on these phones are way better than some of the standalone cameras that you would get in a store. So utilize that phone.
Insane, honestly, the level of quality of video you can get out of your smartphone nowadays. I'm actually using my iPhone 13 mini to film this video. Like, I don't know if you actually knew that, but
see, I had no idea. I had no idea this man was using his phone to record that video. This video looks top-notch quality to me. I wouldn't have never thought that he was using a phone. I would have looked at it and said that, you know, he was using mirrorless or something like that. So great point made there with the actual footage from his phone.
But I am using my iPhone, and the reality is it honestly works. Your smartphone works, because I believe it's best to get really good at creating content with your smartphone. You know, we like to say it's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. And the fact is you have a camera right now that you could start using. Your content value is far more important than your production value. Like, all the gear that you're gonna buy
100%.
isn't gonna make your content good. You're gonna make your content good. And how good you communicate on camera and look into the lens. And so I would encourage you to get really good with your smartphone. You know, a lot of people actually buy cameras thinking it's gonna unlock their content, when the reality is it poses another excuse because you don't know how to use it, and then you're frustrated again.
And the thing is, sometimes, and I keep pausing this, but sometimes, you know, when you have this very fancy equipment, not only do you have this problem of like, all right, now let's see what I'm going to come up with. It's like people, when they see really good camera quality, they have high expectations of what the output of that content is going to be. So now you have an added pressure of just really bringing it, as opposed to just being modest and being able to have that space as a beginner to be making content that people will gravitate toward. You know, when you have a lesser camera, so to speak, people are going to give you a bit more grace than they would do if they saw the camera quality being super duper high. So you might put yourself in a sticky situation just because you have a higher level camera, a camera that puts out 4K or even 8K video, you know. So yeah, that's another problem that could come with just starting off at such a high point. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great to have a high quality, high end camera to start with, but you don't need it, you know. And if you do, people are gonna come with expectations when they watch a video that are so high that you might not even be able to meet yet.
And you never actually make content. This is actually a thing that happens time and time again with newer content creators. And this reminds me with one of our students in our community. Her name is Dr. Andrea Furlan, and she actually started her YouTube channel with her smartphone, and she is crushing. She has over 300,000 subscribers. She's reaching her community, and she's doing a wonderful job all using her smartphone. She actually does not want to use a camera to actually create content, even though someone would argue that it might make it better, but she's totally fine with making videos the way she's making videos.
And look, 2 million views off of content or footage that came from a phone. Don't overcomplicate things.
And because she's delivering great content value, she's crushing it on YouTube. If you want to learn what Dr. Andrea did to reach her audience, she actually went through our free 1-hour YouTube masterclass at thinkmasterclass.com, where we share the secrets on how you can actually create a part-time or full-time income using YouTube. And you can find that at thinkmasterclass.com. We'll post a link to it down in the description below. But the second thing I would encourage you to do if you can't buy that camera is to invest into your audio and your lighting. If you're
big time investing into audio and lighting. Half of the video, I mean, most of the video is video, right? So your video is, of course, primary, but the lighting will illuminate you in the video, and also the audio is the other part of the video that makes people tune in. You have people who really, they're throwing a YouTube video, and a lot of times they aren't even looking at the screen. What they would be looking at the screen, whether it's their phone or even looking at a computer monitor. They may just throw on a YouTube video just to listen to what the person is saying. So it's very important to invest in the audio as well as the lighting.
You're legit ready to buy that $800 or $1,000 camera, I would actually say buy really good lighting and buy a really good audio solution. And I'm actually using a cob light. This is a light we actually encourage a lot of people to get because it's a nice, large and soft light source that really makes your smartphone look awesome. A lot of people don't realize this, but lighting can legit make any camera look better. Chances are
100%. I mean, I've seen some cameras, they seem decent out the box. But then having the right lighting, or you don't even have to have the right lighting, just having a good amount of lighting, period, changes the image so much.
Is you don't need to upgrade your camera or upgrade your lens. You just need to upgrade your lighting. And the reason why this looks really good is because I have this cob light, and I'll post links to everything that I'm using even in this video down in the description below. And the second thing I would encourage people to upgrade with is a really good audio solution or a good microphone. I'm using the Deity Pocket Wireless. So this is a wireless lavalier mic hooked up to my jacket, and I can literally move around my room and I get consistent audio. And
yeah, lav mics are really cool. Right now I'm using a condenser mic that is stationary, but that's because I use it for music and other things as well. But a lav mic is really good, especially if it's a wireless lavalier mic. You can walk around the room and still be connected to your computer or to your camera, and the audio won't lose any type of quality. So it's actually really cool that he has this lavalier mic and is showing it in this video.
You don't need perfect audio, you just need really good audio, especially if you are using your smartphone. You can actually trick viewers that you're using a better camera because your audio sounds good. Isn't that crazy? Because my light and my audio sounds good, you didn't even know I was using my smartphone. But for real, the wisdom in all this is that you're buying equipment that's gonna go with you when you do buy a camera. And I find a lot of people cheap out on audio and lighting and end up upgrading it later on in their journey, when I would say if you can invest into those things up front, you won't have to actually upgrade it later on. Now, if you're unsure of the kind of mic you want to buy, and maybe you don't want a lavalier mic, you want to boom your mic, or maybe you want a mic that you see in the shot for podcasts and things like that, be sure to check out this video that I made on what kind of mic should I buy. I'll link it down in the description below. But the next thing you should do in this season while you can't buy that camera is to level up your editing. Good editing trumps video quality.
That's a fact. You got some good editing, man. It keeps the video interesting. What can I say? It keeps the video interesting. I'm a one-man band situation over here, so I'm just kind of hitting record and doing my thing. I have the OBS set up and things in place, but I don't really do much editing when I'm doing these reaction videos anyway. What I'll do is I'll just have the screen going and I'll be watching and reacting in real time. But having an editor brings your video quality to the next level, especially if you have a good editor. It doesn't have to be a separate editor. It could be you, but as someone who is very busy, I would suggest getting someone else to do the edits, especially if that's their specialty. But good point made here.
Every time. And if you think that the camera is going to level up your edits, that's not true. You're still going to have to get your video edited. And what I mean by good edits, I mean pace. I mean that there's a rhythm to your edit. I mean that there's engaging B-roll and footage that's added on to the things that you're talking about. And maybe you're adding music, maybe you're adding sound effects, your titles are moving. These are all things that, regardless of what camera you use, you can actually implement. And I love this video that Nolan made on how to level up your edits. He actually breaks down kind of like the rules of YouTube editing. And I really do think it's going to give you some great insight, regardless of what editing software you're using, whether you're editing on your phone or on your computer. Because regardless of the camera you have, you're going to need to have engaging edits for people to actually stay and watch your videos all the way through. Now, I really hope that you're getting value in this video, and I hope I'm giving you some perspective. If you're getting value, can you let me know by hitting that like button? Thank you so much. And the next thing I want to encourage you with is this. If you're in the market to buy that camera and it's out of stock and it's back ordered, I want to tell you that you can buy an older camera. Like, it's going to be okay. Like, the older cameras got us to this point.
That's a fact. Right now, I'm using a camera that I've had for years. It's a Canon T3i with a kit lens. Okay, you do not need to have the latest fancy stuff. And that goes back to the point that I made earlier. You know, if you buy this brand new camera with all these gifts and gadgets, you're going to put yourself in a position where people are already expecting your content to be top notch. If you get an older camera, like I said before, you'll be given a bit more grace to people who watch your videos. So this camera that I'm using, this camera that you see me on right now, is at the very least 10 years old. I don't remember exactly when they released this, but yeah.
You could still buy an older camera that has great features. You know, older cameras still have great autofocus. Older cameras can still shoot 4K. They also have mic jack inputs. A couple great cameras that come to mind for creating content. Number one is the Sony ZV-1. This is a point-and-shoot camera that shoots
some people
incredible
that
4K, has
camera.
great autofocus, a flip-up screen, a mic jack input. I don't think it has a record limit. It has a clean HDMI so you can live stream. Like all the features, it just doesn't have interchangeable lenses, but it's still a great camera to get started. Another camera that a lot of people don't talk about is the Canon M6 Mark II. This camera shoots great 4K, great autofocus, mic jack input.
Here's the thing, man, and I'm going to let him finish, but the average consumer is not going to care that you do not have the best of the best. A lot of this stuff, and me coming from the music side of things, as an audiophile, only people who are really into that world care so much about the in-depth details about the final product. Most people, if it's decent enough, they are happy. They are 100% happy. They do not need the highest of qualities. They just need something that's decent enough where they can watch it. It's clear enough. They enjoy the content and they like the audio.
Flip up screen, clean HDMI. Like, why is nobody talking about these cameras? You don't have to buy that camera that is back ordered and wait to get started. And you can also start with your smartphone, like I mentioned earlier. But if you want to check out a video I did on camera.
Yeah, shout out to this, man. Shout out. For sure. Shout out to this video. All of the points made in this video were they were on point. They were on point. I got nothing but good things to say about this. Take those tips and apply it, especially if you're a content creator. Get going. People want to hear what you got to say. People like the information that you got to give. You know, people are at least interested. Build up your following. It doesn't have to be fancy to start off. You can worry about the fanciness, the higher level of production later on. Okay? Just start. Great video. Please drop a like. Please drop a comment. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more videos.